When you hug someone in front of your cat, do you notice what happens next? Maybe they meow. Maybe they jump between you. Maybe they swat at your partner's leg or shove their entire body into the middle of the embrace. Most people laugh it off. My cat is jealous. It's cute. It's funny. It makes a great video. But here's what nobody tells you. Your cat isn't jealous. Not in the way you think. What's happening in that moment is something far more complex than a pet throwing a tantrum, and it reveals something about how your cat sees you, your relationship, and their place in your world that most owners never consider. By the time we get to number 7, you'll understand why that little interruption during a hug is one of the most vulnerable things your cat ever does, and why ignoring it might be costing you something you can't get back. Let's start with the thing everyone says. 1. It's not jealousy, it's confusion. Your cat sees you hug your partner, your child, your friend, and suddenly they react. They insert themselves. They vocalize. They might even nip at the other person's ankle. The internet has a word for this, jealousy, and it feels right. It looks like jealousy. It acts like jealousy. But here's the thing. Jealousy requires a concept that cats don't have. It requires the ability to imagine that someone else is receiving something that should be yours. That's abstract thinking. That's projection. That's a human emotion built on comparison and insecurity. Your cat doesn't compare. They don't think, that hug should be mine. What they do experience is something far more immediate, something their body registers before their brain has time to interpret it. They experience a sudden, unexplained disruption to their social environment. Two bodies in their territory have merged into one unfamiliar shape. The body language of their primary attachment figure has completely changed. Your posture shifted, your arms closed around something, your voice changed pitch, your scent mixed with another person's scent. For an animal that reads microsignals better than any human can, all of that happening at once isn't cute. It's alarming. Your cat isn't jealous that someone else is getting your love. Your cat is confused because the person they rely on just did something they can't decode. 2. Your body language during a hug is unreadable to them. Have you ever thought about what a hug looks like from 2 feet off the ground? Forget the emotion behind it. Just picture the physical shape. 2 large bodies pressed together, arms wrapped tight, faces close, movement restricted, voices muffled. Now imagine you're a cat. You can't see facial expressions from down there. You can't hear the tone clearly because the sound is directed upward. All you can read is body language. And the body language of a hug looks almost identical to the body language of a fight. Dr. Sharon Crowell Davis at the University of Georgia has studied feline interpretation of human physical interactions. She found that cats struggle to differentiate between embraces and physical confrontation because the postural cues are nearly identical from their vantage point. Arms wrapped around another body, restricted movement, 2 figures locked together. In the wild, when 2 animals press their bodies together like that, it almost always means conflict, restraint, dominance. Your cat doesn't see love. They see 2 bodies locked in something they can't interpret. And when one of those bodies belongs to the person who makes them feel safe, their response isn't jealousy, it's intervention. They're not trying to steal attention. They're trying to break up what looks like trouble. And hey, if this is completely changing how you see that moment, hit that like button and subscribe. That's how we help more cat owners understand the signals their cat has been sending all along. 3. They're checking on you, not competing with the other person. Watch your cat closely next time this happens. Don't watch the reaction. Watch the target. Where does your cat go first? Most people assume the cat is going after the other person, pushing them away, asserting dominance. But in the majority of cases, the cat goes to the owner first. They rub against your legs. They look up at your face. They meow at you, not at the person you're hugging. They're performing a status check. In cat colonies, when a disturbance occurs, bonded cats check on each other. They approach, they sniff, they make physical contact. It's a rapid assessment. Are you okay? Are you still you? Is the bond still intact? Your cat pressing against your legs during a hug is running that exact protocol. They're not saying, stop hugging them. They're saying, are you still mine? Is everything still okay between us? And if you push them away in that moment, if you shoo them off or laugh and ignore them, what registers is not rejection. It's an unanswered question. They asked if the bond was still intact, and you didn't respond. Do that enough times and the question stops being asked, not because the answer stopped mattering, because your cat stopped believing you'd answer. 4. The scent disruption is bigger than you think. Here's something most owners never consider. When you hug someone, you don't just share a moment, you share a scent. And for your cat, this is a much bigger event than the physical contact. Cats maintain what behaviorists call a colony scent profile. Through rubbing, grooming, and sleeping together, bonded cats create a shared smell that identifies them as a unit. When your cat rubs against you every morning, they're refreshing that shared scent. They're marking you as theirs and absorbing your smell as part of their identity. This isn't a casual behavior. It's a biological system of belonging. When you hug another person, especially for an extended embrace, you absorb their scent. Your neck, your chest, your arms, all the areas your cat monitors most closely now smell like someone else. When your cat approaches you afterward and sniffs intensely, they're not being nosy. They're conducting an audit. The shared scent has been contaminated. The boundary of the colony has been breached. This is why some cats become intensely affectionate. After you hug someone, they rub against you harder. They headbutt you. They knead on your lap. They're not being clingy. They're overriding. They're reapplying their scent to your body with urgency because something foreign got there first, and it needs to be corrected. Every rub, every press of their cheek against your hand is your cat saying, "Let me fix this. Let me put us back to how we're supposed to smell. Let me make you mine again." 5. Multi-person households make this worse. Does your cat react more strongly when you hug one specific person? Maybe they're fine when you hug your mother, but lose their mind when you hug your partner. That's not random. And it tells you something important about how your cat has mapped the social hierarchy in your home. In a multi-person household, your cat forms different attachment levels with different people. There's usually one primary attachment figure. That's the person who feeds, who is most present, whose schedule the cat has synced to. And then there are secondary figures, liked, tolerated, even loved, but not the anchor. When the primary attachment figure embraces a secondary figure, the cat experiences a specific kind of disruption. Their anchor is merging with someone who ranks lower in the cat's social map. The hierarchy is shifting. The order is wrong. This is why the reaction is often directed at the person being hugged, not at the owner. The cat isn't attacking the partner. They're correcting a perceived imbalance. You're getting too close to my person. That's not where you belong in this structure. My cat does this exclusively with my partner. Guests, family members, no reaction. But the second we sit together on the couch, he appears from nowhere and physically wedges himself between us. Every single time. Not aggressive, just present. Like a chaperone who takes his job very seriously. This isn't possessiveness. It's architecture. Your cat has built a social structure in their mind, and they're maintaining it the only way they know how. 6. Kittens who saw affection handle it differently. Here's a detail that changes the context for a lot of owners. How a cat responds to human physical affection depends heavily on what they were exposed to as kittens. Cats who were socialized in homes where people hugged, cuddled, and touched each other regularly during the first 12 weeks of life tend to react to embraces with curiosity rather than distress. They saw the pattern early. They learned that this body language doesn't mean conflict. They may still approach and investigate, but without the urgency or distress. Cats who were adopted later, who grew up in shelters, outdoors, or in homes without much physical contact between humans, often react more intensely. They never built a reference point for what a hug looks like. Every embrace is novel. Every time, their system fires the same alarm. Something is happening. I don't understand it. I need to intervene. This doesn't mean these cats are broken or badly socialized. It means they're working with the only data they have. And if your cat reacts strongly every time you hug someone, the kindest thing you can do is not dismiss it, not laugh at it, acknowledge it. Give them a moment of contact afterward. Let them sniff you. Let them rub against you. Let them restore the scent. Check the bond. Confirm that everything is still in place. It takes 10 seconds, and those 10 seconds tell your cat that no embrace in the world changes what they are to you. 7. They interrupt your hugs because they can't afford to be forgotten. Here's what every point on this list has been building toward, and it's the one that reframes this entire behavior. Your cat doesn't intervene because they're bratty. They don't meow because they're demanding. They don't wedge themselves between you and another person because they think the world revolves around them. They do it because, in their world, it does. Researchers studying feline attachment have consistently found that bonded cats build their entire sense of safety around one person, not the house, not the food, not the routine. One person. And when that person's body suddenly merges with someone else's, when their scent shifts, when their attention redirects, when their arms close around a different body, the cat's nervous system registers one thing. I might be losing my anchor, not dramatically, not with panic, but with a quiet urgency that makes them stand up, walk across the room, and place their body exactly where it needs to be, between you and whatever just changed. Not to compete, not to control, to confirm. Every meow during a hug, every paw on your knee, every headbutt against your shin while your arms are around someone else. None of it was jealousy. All of it was a question your cat was too afraid to leave unanswered. Am I still the one you come back to? Your cat already knows you love other people. They've watched you hug, laugh, hold, and care for others every single day. They don't need to be the only one. They just need to know they're still the one who matters when the hug is over. And every time they interrupt, every time they push their way in, every time they refuse to let a moment pass without reminding you they exist, that's not neediness. That's a small animal placing everything they have on one single bet. That you'll look down, that you'll reach for them, that you'll say without words what they've been waiting to hear. You're still mine, and nothing changes that.